How soon into learning something new do you give up? Let's talk about that.
Ryan Little.
There are three phases when it comes to learning something new. The first phase is just understanding. You know, when you're learning something and your teacher, in this case me, is showing you something and you think, yes, I get it. That's just you understanding what the exercise is. Unfortunately, like 90% of people stop practicing, stop trying, stop thinking as soon as they hear that inner voice saying, I get it. Big mistake. Big mistake. Bottom line is, you gotta give yourself some time to not only understand things, but then to make mistakes. So that's phase 2, absorption. I want to talk about that, but I got stuff to do, so I gotta go, and you're coming with me. Let's go. Okay, so second phase is absorption, and that means that you have to repeat until your brain memorizes whatever you're trying to learn. There's a couple of things to take into account when repeating something. Don't try to force it in. It can take a few hours to memorize a new pattern, a new scale, a new whatever. It can take a few days. It won't take long though. What you will feel, however, is that it's gonna go back and forth. You're gonna remember it one day, it feels like you are in a state of flow now, you got it down, and then suddenly, the next day, it goes away again. It feels rusty again. That's because muscle memory, kinesthetic memory, takes a while to kick in. Eventually, it's in. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Remember though, to understand an exercise doesn't mean that you know it. To repeat an exercise and practice it for a couple of minutes a day for a week doesn't mean that you know it. It only means that you have understood the exercise, and it means that you have memorized the exercise. So what does it mean to know an exercise? Phase 3 is mastery, and that's when it gets tricky. So, what is mastery? To be a master at something is a lot more than just knowing about something. And that's why I really make this distinction between these three phases of learning: understanding, absorption, and mastery. So again, the first phase, understanding, is basically you making sense out of the exercise. Let's use the paradiddle as an example. When I write the paradiddle on the board, all you need to understand really is that it's right, left, right, left, right, left, left. Then what you also need to know is that the first and fifth notes are accents. So those are meant to be played louder, and the other three notes in between accents are meant to be played quieter. That's pretty much all you need to know to understand the exercise. Next, you address the technique. You address how to move. Is it in a downstroke? Is it an upstroke? You start putting the pieces together, let's say. Once you have the puzzle in front of you and you can see the picture, you start practicing. Now it's a repetition phase. That's when you actually start learning. You play, repeat until you have it memorized. But what next? Next, you start applying it. You use the paradiddle and you try to play a whole song using the paradiddle, only the paradiddle. And you have to make it musical. So of course that's a challenge. Once you achieve that, the ability to use such a small, simple sticking and make it musical, you are on your way to master it. Then I would say, play it backwards. Then I would say, change the accents. So what is to master something? Is to be able to play not only the simplest form, but the most complex form that comes out of a simple form. In other words, you have to be able to change, permutate, shift, play it backwards, play it quiet, play it loud, play it fast, play it slow, play it on the floor tom, play it on a snare drum. You have to be flexible, you have to be agile, you have to be a master. So why would people stop practicing, learning even, as soon as they understand something? They look at the board and they go like, oh yeah, I get it, and they think now they own the paradiddle. You don't. So these are the 3 phases of learning. I encourage you guys to only stop once you consider yourself a master. Better yet, once everyone else considers you a master. Go see a teacher, find a mentor, expose yourself to different things, push the boundaries, don't stick to the basic. Masters don't do that. So where are you in the learning spectrum? Are you still understanding and getting comfortable with the instrument and the ideas behind that instrument? Are you in the absorption phase and you're trying to memorize stickings, getting familiar with licks, grooves, styles? Or are you in the mastery phase where you have all the information and now you're just making it yours? It's not someone else's anymore. It's yours. It should sound as if you created it. Go get 'em.